Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. In excelsis Deo.
Hello, welcome to what I am considering day 7 of Vlogmas. My name is Tracy and I am the host of the Knitting on the Float podcast. And the reason I am considering this day 7 is I've already finished what I want to put on day 6, the tour of the Muse we stayed at. And the next couple of days are probably just going to feel like one big travel day. So it is December 6th currently, and we will be flying out of Heathrow at 6 p.m., landing in Toronto at shortly after 9 p.m. And then tomorrow at about 5 in the afternoon, I'll be flying from flying from Toronto to Vancouver and landing in Vancouver just after 7. So the next couple of days are going to be a blur of travel, so I will pop in and out. But we're currently in Heathrow. We have gotten through security. One thing I was super worried about when we were going through security was having to remove my shoes. And I'll quickly show you why. I am wearing my Blundstones, which are super great, but because they are so high, the high tops, they're a little challenging for me to get off my feet. I can pop off the first one, but the second one is usually quite a struggle. And so I was starting to feel a little bit of anxiety because I thought, oh my gosh, if I have to take my shoes off, and some people were taking the shoes off, some people were leaving them on, I thought I may have a bit of a panic attack over shoes. And when I'm in North America, I have a Nexus card. I don't have to worry about my shoes. So it's not something I give a thought to. So here I was getting a little bit worried. Not that I've got anything to hide in my shoes, just really hard to get them off. Thankfully, I got to keep my shoes on. And now we are through security and we just had a bite to eat. I'm going to go for a little walk around Heathrow, take a look in some of the shops. It is just past 1 p.m. Our flight leaves at 6, so we've got 5 hours here. I do have my knitting. I've got lots to do, I guess, but it is a long time to just wait, but we'll help pass the time. Heathrow is all decorated for Christmas, and in this area here, we're in Terminal 2. There are lots of shops. There are bars, restaurants. There is a sushi cafe, a Chinese kitchen. Lufthansa has their lounge over here. And then there is London's Pride Pub and Kitchen. On my journey, I'm going to look for somewhere that serves tea. My mom and I would like a cup of tea. This looks like a really nice little pub though with dining. We did bring some sandwiches, but it would be nice to maybe have a bigger bite to eat, although we will be fed on our plane too. Over here we have the Discover London shop, so I am interested to see what is in this shop. Half of a car. I'm actually wanting to maybe pick up something a little bit kitschy, maybe like a keychain or something like that. But there's a specific look I'm looking for. Anyway, lots of gin. And, oh, Liberty cards, Liberty treats, Liberty pencil crayons, pencil case, and stationery. here's a few little kitschy things. A mini Rubik's Cube from the National Gallery. So the places we didn't make it to, oh, look at this. I didn't need to go to Kew Gardens. It's all here. The great thing about Heathrow is there is a lot to explore, 2 levels, and if there's anything that maybe I didn't find or pick up when I was here, there is a possibility I might get that last minute souvenir. We have had our cup of tea and I've sat for a little bit while my mom has done some exploring around the airport. Now it's my time to go explore again. So, a shop where you can buy suitcases if you are over your limit. And then there is the requisite book shop and Sunglass Hut. I'm not sure why you might need sunglasses in the airport. I guess your future's looking bright. The currency exchange is behind me, and of course a Christmas tree. This is all on the 2nd level of Terminal 2. All of the terminals have different shops in them, and right behind me this way, security, which we went through a couple hours ago, I think now, it feels like it. And there is a King of Trainers, so you can buy some Nikes so you can maybe jog around. There is a Ted Baker for people who want to get some designer digs while they are in London. Accessorize, so little scarves, hats, things like that. And pret-a-manger, that's where I picked up some tea, and I got my mom a Portuguese tart. She loves those, so I picked that up for her. And then I went into a very special shop, which I'm going to go back in a little earlier. This is before I got tea, and I didn't take you with me then, but I'm going to take you now. So there is another bookstore there, and then there's another W.H. Smith. I can't see it on the screen behind me. So lots of bookstores. There is In Motion, which is an electronics store. And then we're going, and then there's a Wonder Tree, which is a cafe and restaurant. So here is what I've walked by. Ted Baker, Accessorize, King of Trainers, the Pret-a-Manger, which has sandwiches over here, treats, tarts, and coffees. Over here, a nice seating area. And then we have the In Motion for people who want to pick up some electronics. And there's even a downstairs, so there is more. There's a W.H. Smith as well as the Wonder Tree. But we're just going to pop into Hamley's, which is a very large toy store on, I think it's on Regent Street or Oxford. I get the two confused. This here is what we have picked up for Isaac and Nathaniel. And downstairs there is duty free. There are more shops, including a Harrods. So I didn't need to go to Knightsbridge. I could have just come to the airport. So this duty free, lots of alcohol on this side. And chocolates. There are designer fragrance names as well. I love how they have the Elizabeth Tower clock, or a replica of it down here. I think that is one of the most beautiful clock faces ever. So duty free this side. And then on the other side, if you can believe it, even more brand name duty frees that are around here. I might pop in and take a quick look without the camera though. It is now 2:53. My flight is 1800 Toronto, and my gate will finally show at 4:45 or 16:45. So not quite 3 o'clock. Flight leaves at 6. We definitely have a bit of time. So here we are on the lower level of Gates A in Terminal 2. So I think Gate B's. I'm not sure if that's a separate building, and we have to take a little trolley or something over to Gate B. There are a couple more shops over there from what I understand. The Caviar House and Prunière is here, and then there is a fast food breakfast, lunch, dinner area that you can grab some snacks. Duty free. Any of the airline services desks that you may want to have a chat with, they are all over here as well. My mom and I were able to check not only our big suitcases, but our small carry-ons as well, so a lot less to have to take along with us. I've just got my backpack, which has all of my electronics and my knitting, of course. Now here is the Little Harrods, and of course it has lots of those Harrods named things, like the bears, and lots of the bags over here as well. So Harrods, of course, is very well known in Knightsbridge, and one of my friends had me pick her up one of these iconic bags when I was in London. She wanted a black one. Originally she wanted a green one, but then when I showed her all the different ones available, she wanted the black one. So I think the one I got her is a tiny bit bigger than that, although it might be that size. But they've got some cute ones here that are a little bit different, so we had to narrow it down. And then we have Rolex across the way, Saint Laurent, if you want a nice new purse, is here. The Perfectionist Cafe is up at the top, and my mom is just up there watching our things. Burberry has a lovely little shop in Terminal 2, as does Gucci. So lots of purses, shoes, and special treats. And at the top here, Smithson or Smythson, oh, I don't know, I obviously don't shop there if I can't pronounce it. Kate Spade, Kurt Geiger, Hugo Boss, and Paul Smith. And Bottega Veneta, more purses. I have enough to carry. Harrods has not only the name shop with their goodies there is a watch room as well if you wanted to figure out what time it is. And Bulgari has some jewelry at Terminal 2. And then over here we have another W.H. Smith linked with a pharmacy. So my mom picked up some children's ibuprofen because it is very difficult to get in Canada right now, and my sister needed a little bit for her daughter. So picked up some treats here on this side so that we didn't have to go through security and have it confiscated from us. And look at this. There is a beautiful place to sit. I think I may say to my mother, we need to move down here because this is a lot more interesting to look at than all of the shops. And these are, oh, and there's the back of the W.H. Smith Wellbeing. But let's take a look out at the runways. Sunshine is glorious today. And that is my walkthrough of Heathrow Terminal 2. We are seated on the plane, and oh my goodness, it was a rush at that last minute. I didn't realize how quickly they would be boarding, and we had to get from way over somewhere far across, and it was an epic journey. Think of like Lord of the Rings, but not as exciting, but maybe more exciting, I don't know. Anyway, we are in our seats. I still have to belt up. Taking off your jacket in these seats is crazy. Anyway, on the flight, we have 8 hours ahead of us. I get to figure out what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do a bit of knitting. Maybe I'll watch a movie. Are you ready to fly? You ready to fly?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, we are ready to go home tonight. You get to sleep in your own bed. Won't that be nice? I get to sleep on the couch. So nice. But tomorrow, I get to sleep in my own bed. It'll have been 3 weeks since I have been in my comfy, cozy bed. That will feel good. Anyway, we are just doing last minute preparations. I've got to do up my belt on the plane and get my headphones out and get myself all ready because we will be taking off shortly. Light knitting is my oddments cowl using beautiful Viola silk cashmere. And we are, as we look out the window, just starting to move. Not that you can tell very much from the reflection. London, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, except maybe the mouse. And me. It is about 5:45 in the morning. Right now, I think I'm the only one up, although it's very possible my mother may be up. I did not sleep very well last night. I was on the couch, and after being in the airplane for about 8 hours yesterday, and the people in front of us They reclined back, so you know your space was very limited. I wore my Blundstones, which are a little bit tight on me, and they're high, so they're hard to get off, and I was just uncomfortable for a good portion of the day, especially once we got on the airplane. When we were at Heathrow, I didn't realize how far in Terminal 2, there's two buildings, the A gates and the B gates, and I didn't realize how far the B gates were from where we were at the A gates. And I also didn't realize how early they start boarding the plane. So I lost track of time. I went into a shop, and then as we were walking to the B gates, I realized what time it was, and I saw one of those signs that said that our gate was closing. It was only 20 after 5, not even, and we were still walking, and our flight was at 6, but 20 after 5 they were closing our gate, so I was starting to panic, and of course I had to make a detour to the washroom on the way, and it was a little bit stressful. So while the afternoon was actually quite relaxing, the evening in the flight and then the drive home, because they closed the highway partway home on the way home, was really quite stressful. And oh yes, when I got to customs, I had hoped to use my Nexus card because I just didn't want to have to pull my passport out because it was sort of tucked deep into my backpack. It wouldn't take my Nexus card, so I was pretty frustrated by the time we landed and got through Toronto, and then it was a long drive home. Then the highway closed. I was trying to sleep in the car. It was all a little bit traumatic, I suppose. And then just as we were almost home, a deer ran in front of the car, and I think we bumped the tail end of it. So I was in tears by the time we got to the house, and it had been a long, long day. So when I got on FaceTime with Greg, I was already in tears, but I just burst into even more tears. So it will be really good to see him at the end of today. Today is another travel day. Yay. It will mean that I will be home and in my own bed, which is a good thing, but my flight goes out of Vancouver at about 5:15 this afternoon, lands in Vancouver just after 7 or maybe around 7:30ish, and I'm hoping the people in front of me don't recline. It might be good to try and get a little bit of sleep on the plane, but we will see how it goes. Anyway, today, once it gets light out, things open up, I've got to run to the post office. I'm hoping to pick up a sandwich for my flight from the local grocery store. I really love their sandwiches. And then get to the airport, use my Nexus card today, which will be great, and get through security, get to the gate, and hopefully the flight will go smoothly, and then I will be home tonight. So a very long couple of travel days with very little sleep has me a little bit out of sorts, but hopefully once the day gets going, that positivity will come back. So anyway, December 7th, Vlogmas, continuation from yesterday's travel day, because really I think it's all just one big day. That's what it seems. So, oh yes, one more thing. When I finally landed in Toronto, I was just so confused. What day is it? It's a good thing I've been doing Vlogmas because I'm totally losing track of what day it is with all the travel. Anyway, safe flight. We safely landed. We safely got home. It'll all be good. best remedy for waking up a little bit cranky? A nice cup of tea in a Rendale Designs mug. And some knitting. So, good morning, December 7th. Cheers to a good day. Hello and welcome to day 7 of Vlogmas. It actually feels more like day 7 than it did at almost 5 in the morning because it's light out right now, and it is definitely feeling more like daytime should. I was going to unpack some things and get a flat rate postal box and send some things by postal box, but I decided just to borrow an extra suitcase from my mom, and I'm bringing an extra suitcase with me. So I have gone on the Air Canada site, bought the extra suitcase, and that will be nice because I've got stocking stuffers and things like that. I had bought a Christmas cake from Marks and Spencer as well, so that will be coming home with me, and that will be a nice treat when I am at home. Anyway, I will be heading back to YYZ, that is Pearson International Airport, that's the Toronto airport, in maybe a little over an hour with my suitcases, my many suitcases, and flying home. And I am definitely looking forward to sleeping in my own bed tonight, and not sure what I'll get up to in the next couple of days. There's going to be a lot of jet lag happening, but it's been a very long experience, this flying home, and I'm not sure whether I'll have the energy to knit on the plane, but I did bring my Mind the Gap mittens, so still working on the cuff on those. I thought about bringing the sock, but while I was working on it this morning, I made a little bit of a boo-boo, and I thought, oh, pack that away in the suitcase. Plus, I also don't want my backpack to be too heavy. That's my carry-on. Okay, so we'll be heading to the airport in a little bit, and I will see you either in YYZ or YVR. I am back at Pearson, which is YYZ. And I'm asking myself, why am I back at Pearson? It has been less than 24 hours, and here we are at the airport. I just got through security. Today I kept my little travel carry-on, and then I've got my backpack with me. And let's just take a quick look around this airport. I just came down the escalator here, so security is up top there. And as I was coming down, there are some carolers that are singing just behind this post here. And the interesting thing about Pearson is that through this terminal, people who are getting off their plane, they're going to arrivals through this bottom here. So there's a mixture of arrivals and departures in this section, and I found in other airports they sort of cordon you off. Once you get off your plane, you don't sort of mix with the people who are coming in from arrivals. Few stores down this way. There is a Starbucks, there is a Source, which is like the old Radio Shack. They've got electronics. There's a Johnston and Murphy store. They've got clothes and things. MAC Cosmetics is in the center here, and you can see an ad for the Up Express. Here we have our carolers.
They need a sound system.
It's not very loud. And then there are some food places. All of the information as to where we are going. Now I am taking the 5:15, the 17:15 to Vancouver, AC 121, and that will be leaving from D45. So let's go for a walk down to D45, where I am going to actually try and get rid of my carry-on. It is a nice wheelie. The woman at the gate suggested that maybe I try and pawn it off there rather than check it. Here we have a sports store and Herschel Supply Company selling extra backpacks. I needed some extra space today and extra suitcases, and we're going to go along the moving sidewalk, because who does not love a moving sidewalk? They have a little electronic kiosk, kind of like where you buy a bag of chips or potato chips for the source. So you can buy yourself some AirPods or other electronics, charge cable. Bathrooms, very, very important. And Camden Food Company is here. Somewhere in here is the Wahlburger restaurant. I'm not sure if that's downstairs or there's a couple levels here. And when we were with the International, the Wahlburgers was in that area. And up ahead is a Rocky Mountain Chocolate Company, some restaurants, and I'm going to safely get off this moving sidewalk. Out the window of this waiting area, you can see the planes are getting ready, coming in, getting ready to depart, taking off, all very exciting. And if you come to Toronto, one of the places you may want to go is Niagara Falls. They just had a quick sign here. So they have the Up Express, which is Union Pearson Express, and that's a train that you can take directly from Pearson International Airport to Union Station downtown. And of course all the advertisements for banking and such. But they did have a nice shot of Niagara Falls, because Niagara Falls is about 2 hours away from Toronto. And there is my beautiful Toronto skyline. Okay, let's go. D45, I see it on the sign. It's right at the end. And this is where all the foodie type things are. This is definitely not as exciting as Heathrow. Not as much to see, spread out a little bit more maybe. Although it's not as big of a terminal. Last night there was a little bit of a panic getting from building A to building B. That was a challenge. So there's a little restaurant here, Twist, the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Company, so delicious. I will tell you, they are only electronic payment, no cash. Toronto Relay, so if you're wanting some paraphernalia from Toronto, Canada, here we've got some chocolates, probably have some maple syrup. Oh, there we go. There's the maple syrup. And I always like the maple candies. And then all of the other things that you might need when you are traveling. A&W. Greg likes the root beer. A Chanel, so you can maybe spray a little bit of perfume so you smell nice on the plane, but then drive someone nuts who wants a scent-free environment. And the iStore over here has electronics. Of course, there is a Tim Hortons, because there's always got to be a Tim Hortons nearby. And perhaps I should get myself a steep tea before I get on the plane. Body Shop has a small kiosk here. There is something behind, I'm not sure what it will be. There is a little market kitchen here and a Starbucks, as well as a, I think it's Boccione Trattoria Veloce. So pizza, salads, panini. So here we are at the waiting area for several Air Canada flights. And oh, I see a British Airways in there. So let's take a look over out the window. There we are, British Airways at the other side of the terminal. Perhaps if I had gone down, I would have seen some more shops down that way, and maybe that's where that Wahlburgers is. Anyway, I will be catching my plane from way over here, D45, and boarding is at 4:30. So currently it is 3:25. I've got about an hour to chill out for a little bit. As I said, Tim Hortons is probably on my list. I have just popped by the Tim Hortons, picked myself up a black steeped tea, and along with that tea, put that down, they need some cup holders. I have a sandwich from one of the local grocery stores. I love these ones. They're wraps, and I've got 3, one for now and then a couple for the flight because it's a long flight. And these are the turkey and Havarti, and they also have cranberries in them. And then of course I had to pick up an apple fritter. I've been out of Canada for 3 weeks, so you know, I need some of that Tim Hortons. I'm just contemplating right now, should I run over to that gate there and get on that British Airways back to London? Or should I get on the plane that I'm supposed to get on and go back to Vancouver? That's a hard decision. I am now on the second half of my journey home, so I'm on the plane from Toronto to Vancouver, and kind of a strange window seat to have. I have to lean forward, unfortunately, or lean backwards, so I'm not sure how we'll get the best view. Okay, so flying home. It's been 3 weeks, and I'm looking forward to, as I've said before, sleeping in my own bed tonight. I have my Mind the Gap mittens that I'm going to work on the cuff for a little bit in my I Love London bag. We are a full flight. It is definitely going to be a cramped flight. I am in Vancouver. We have landed safely. It was a long flight, but a restful one. And I'm just on my way to baggage claim now, and Greg will be picking me up on the other side of baggage claim. Since we've seen Heathrow and Toronto, let's take a quick look at Vancouver Airport, the Pacific Farms Market. So we've been over by the Atlantic, flew over the Atlantic. We are now at the Pacific. We actually came in landing from the ocean side, so we sort of circled around Vancouver. Here is Lululemon, and I don't know if there are any other stores through here. We actually seem to be in the section that is like departures and arrivals. I always thought they kept you a little bit more separated from the people coming into the airport, but a little bit of a walking sidewalk that goes up. A little off balance right now. Going towards exit and baggage claim right there, and hopefully the bags don't take too long to get off of the plane and into my hands and onto the cart. So let's go down the escalator and take a quick look. Here are where people are getting their tickets. Christmas tree. And down we go to go get suitcases, all that luggage. I'm just going to pick up one of these carts because I have 3 suitcases. I know, a little bit excessive. And go over to the carousel. Looks like everybody's waiting, and it might take a little while. I don't even hear the carousel moving, and then we'll look for Greg. I've seen somebody familiar. There he is, just behind. There he is, right there. Here is Greg. I only have 1 bag so far, so I still got 2 more.
Okay.
It's Vlogmas. Happy Vlogmas. Just say Happy Vlogmas.
Happy Vlogmas. Oh, I don't know what to say.
Anyway, I've got 2 more bags coming. Here's one. I don't know if you want to grab this one and then I'll go back and get the others, or we are just waiting for suitcases to come down the chute. There were 3 flights that came in, and we're waiting for all of the luggage from 3 flights to be dispersed onto this carousel, so it might be a little while. I have all my luggage, I have my chauffeur, and we are good to go. It is nice to be picked up. It has been a very long couple of traveling days, but I am finally almost home, so it'll be good to get on the float house tonight. Well, thank you for traveling with me the past couple of days. This is the end of Vlogmas day 7/67, and I am ready to definitely call it a day, and I will see you tomorrow, although who knows how long it will take me to actually get the footage from day 6 and 7 up, but hopefully not too long. Anyway, I will see you soon.
In excelsis Deo, Gloria, in excelsis Deo.
Mommy bought you socks from England. Isn't that exciting?
Yes, I ran out of them. I forgot how to clean when you were gone.
What?
I'm kidding. I was saying that I forgot how to clean my socks, so I have no socks now, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I bought you new socks. So from Marks and Spencer. So, because everybody needs socks.